But when His Majesty came 66 now, that was an example to all of them.
Yeah.
You know? His Majesty told them, said, leave them alone. I have myself stand in the presence of His Majesty, and there was a superintendent policeman named by the name of London, who in 1954, we had a march through the city, and he carried us about 34 hours and lock I and I down to jail. And stop the march and lock we down to jail. And we spent 32 days in jail. And when he did ask I for, when we wanted to join up the march, the superintendent asked I for permit. So where is your permit? And I handed him my Bible. I already had my Bible in my hand. So I just handed him my Bible and he take it from I. So in their court now, when the judges ask him about how do he attack us on the street, then he says, as you know, he says to the judges, as you know, the police force have a right to stop whatsoever not looking right on the street. So then he asked us where our permit. And he pointed on our individual, said that one, hand him a Bible. So the judges really observed that, you know. Yes, very much. Well, at 1966 now, when His Majesty came, it was a said policeman that His Majesty, after I stand before His Majesty, was looking like I was looking at you, and His Majesty called the said superintendent policeman in Sheraton, we were, and says, ask that man why I'm going Laxatal. The said policeman, London. And he came on to I and says, His Majesty said to us, why you go to Laxatal? So I asked him the question again, what you say? His Majesty to ask why I go my Laxatal? He said, yes. And I asked him the question twice. He said, he doesn't believe me. I says, well, not to say he doesn't believe the eye that His Majesty give us such question, you know. But, all right, I said, all right, okay. Count the Most High to be right and call men the liar. So I started to give him the history of Lax. I brought to him first the preceptical order of Hebrews 7.
That was my next question.
Yeah. And I asked, I bring again the status order, the Nazarene order, number 6, and I bring him the saintical name, Revelation 14 and 7. And he was quite amazed with himself, but anyway, he turned to the king, and the king said to him, the king rise and said, warriors, traitors, be still and know that I am He. The king said again to them, says, you leave them alone, for they know what they are doing. They are right. So from that time, all police force withdrawn from Rasta.